BagFuel, baby.
There's only 2 point guards. My favorite 2 point guards is Rod Strickland and Mark Jackson.
That's before
That's my dude.
Yeah.
Those are my only.
Played us together more.
Those are my only. And I wanted. I'm gonna ask.
No, the camera's rolling.
Because my thing, I'm just really gonna start. Like, I still remember when y'all played the Pistons, right? Right, and y'all was playing together, right? Wasn't y'all playing together back then? You was coming off the bench. I think at that time it might have been your first year. I feel like that they never gave y'all a chance to develop as a small backcourt. And my thoughts was they might have been worried about the consistency of the jump shot with you and Mark.
Okay, I can rock with that.
Do you think that that's fair because they had Zeke and Dumars. Dumars was more of a knockdown shooter. Zeke had a good feathery jump shot off the dribble. And I felt like that's why they didn't keep y'all together.
Well, I think back then, it just was never heard of.
That's what I was going to say.
2 point guards, they just weren't doing that. You know, it was like point guard, 2 guard, small forward, power forward, center.
Structure.
So, like nowadays, we could have done that.
Definitely.
You know, because I could have guarded the 2 guards, Mark guarded the point, or vice versa. And me and Mark, when we were on the court together, like we vibed.
Yeah.
We played them little 3-5 minute segments and we dishing it off like we were having fun. But I just think it was before our time with that. And to be quite honest, I wish I would have been a little more patient. Like when I got drafted and Mark is there, you know, I didn't want to be drafted by the Knicks. Well, I didn't even know I was going to be drafted by the Knicks. Well, I had so I was told in the draft by my agent I would go between 7 and 15. Told me in Seattle, if I was at 15, Seattle was going to take me. So I'm thinking no matter what, 15. So 15 comes, they don't take me. So now I'm pressed. Because I had got a call from my college coach, Joey Meyer, in the hotel that morning, and he told me I might be slipping. So he said Boston and LA spoke with him. So I'm like, you know, that was like back then they would have won 2 teams. So that's 24-25, I think. And I'm like, man, I could slip to the second round. You know, what if they don't take me? So I was a little nervous. But shit, I just lost my train of thought.
You was talking about you didn't want to go to the Knicks.
Right. So once the 15th pick went, all I saw next was like Houston. It might have been Utah, but it was all teams with point guards. And then the Knicks. So now I'm looking at the board and I'm like, I'm in trouble. So when the Knicks came up, I remember one of the guys, one of the reporters, he leaned to me, he said, "This is you." But I was confused. I'm like, this is me. Mark Jackson just was Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Like, why they drafted me? And then the crowd, I don't know if y'all remember, the crowd was going nuts. They wanted Shelton Jones.
I remember they wanted Shelton Jones.
So Mark was there, and Mark's my guy. But they was there, I don't know, I thought they was like holding hands or kind of, but they was like with each other.
Yeah.
You know, St. John's teammates, I get it. But then they called my name and the whole place booed me. And I'm like, man, I'm from New York. I get booed like this.
We get picked by the Knicks, but it's because Mark was the Rookie of the Year.
Right, and
they
Shelton Jones,
Mark.
and they probably like what they need me for. So that was kind of a disappointment, but then I was excited because I was drafted. But as soon as I got there, we got to it. The funny thing is the next day, Mark and I, we were playing against each other at City College. It just happened to work like this.
Yeah.
Man, we got out there that next day, man, that thing was crowded all down the street. And we went at each other that day. You know, we both probably had like 40-something, whatever. But it was, you know.
What's that like? Because you from Uptown and...
You from the Bronx?
Yeah, where he's from, though.
Okay.
You know, they call it the star area, the star language. They big you up over there. So to be at City College, I know the Bronx and Harlem had to be going crazy, man.
Yeah, no, it was the city, you know, because I played everywhere. You know, I was all, you know, the only street ball tournament I really didn't play in was 155th.
Rucker?
Which probably sounds weird to y'all.
Word?
Yeah, I played one game out there.
What was...
I didn't, and I hate this, like, I didn't like, I don't know, fancy stuff, throwing it off your head, throwing it between
Even though
your
you
legs,
can do
whatever.
all of that?
But you was doing all of that naturally.
No, I never, but I'm not, You know, like if you're a New Yorker, right? You were born and bred just because you were there, and a part of it, you were born and bred to like, I want to show you up.
Yeah.
But it was a certain way. I'm gonna show you up because I'm gonna try to shake you or go by you. But I just had it like a guy having the ball, the crowd going crazy, and then I got to stand there one-on-one and guard him. You know, with all that, it just was weird to me.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with all the utmost respect, it was just weird to me, and I just that vibe just wasn't. I don't know. I couldn't like get with that vibe. I loved watching it because I went there all the time, so it's big. I don't want this to get misconstrued.
Oh, yeah.
Big utmost respect to street ballers. I became an NBA player and who I was because of that. Because I had to come out on these streets every day and play against all those guys. And those guys, and everybody was competitive in New York. You know, New York was a little different back then.
Yeah, way different.
Every time you stepped on the court, you know, you got a killer right in front of you. So that gave me my competitive edge, all that. So it's the utmost respect.
If you had a choice to pick just one point guard that you could say that epitomized the New York City lifestyle, who would you, and not yourself, take yourself out of it, who would your one pick be? And I know it's hard. I got a choice, and I just want to see if you think
it's kind of like, it came to me right away. Steph Marbury.
Steph Marbury. Okay. That's who I was thinking.
I thought you was going to say Pearl.
Nah, Steph
My
Marbury.
bad, so Pearl. So hold up.
Come on. I'm Marbury.
Hold up. I made Pearl because that was my idol. And that's, so I would say Pearl and Steph.
Yeah, okay, Pearl and Steph.
I would say Pearl and Steph. Yes,
Okay.
Pearl and Steph, like right away.
So these two Brooklyn dudes, what stands out about them that you would make them the
And
confidence?
then hold up, man, y'all done messed me up now, because I'm forgetting one.
Who?
My God, Kenny Anderson.
Kenny Anderson.
I can't.
Cheers.
You know, and then you got Nate Tiny Archibald. But let's just go back to the two Brooklyn guys. Like I just like Pearl was everything to me. Like if when Pearl passed, I looked at his videos, and just reminiscing, and I saw me. You know, the way he got the ball, threw it out in the open court, the way he go around, make layups around the defender, the in and out, cross, like that, all that was Pearl. Like I idolized him, and like I followed him around trying to watch him. Now Steph is just like, I just always felt like Steph was different. Mentality, game, jump shot, athleticism, like, you know, the pedigree, the family. Like I just thought Steph was just different. Like, I think Kenny Anderson was different, just as far as like on the court, like
the breakdown, the speed,
breaking down,
yeah,
the
breaking
finesse,
down speed, the finish,
and then everybody was so drawn to him.
Yeah.
You know, but then there's others. Like I think Jamal Tinsley. I love Jamal
JT.
Tinsley. I think he's one of the most underrated point guards. We don't talk about him enough in this city.
They don't. I think because he went
Iowa
so far
State.
west, right? Or
Iowa State.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to
You know
Iowa.
what I'm saying? And then he played for the Pacers.
But tricky.
So he didn't get his like
rugged.
New York just do as much as he should. How about Lloyd Daniels?
Lloyd is different. If Lloyd didn't go through all the things he went through, we'll be talking about Lloyd.
All time?
Hall of Famer, one of the greatest. He had the size, the skill, the shooting, the mentality, the killer on the court.
Yeah.
He was, he was 6'9", 6'8",
with the
shooting
handle.
30-foot bankers. But there's so many New Yorkers like Mark. Like I played with Mark Jackson, and I always respect Mark. And we had our little moments. He'll tell you too. I'll tell you, I tried to fight him in practice.
Hold on, what?
Hold on,
You gotta speak on this. Come on.
No, it was just one of those days.
It's just natural shit.
I was irritated. I think they were whipping on us that day, and I was just irritated. I wanted to play. It was just a lot going on, and I just remember every time he tried to go off the ball screen, I just hit him, just knock him off the ball screen. But Mark is so like mature and professional that it ain't really phase him. And I think I was irritated because I couldn't phase him. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I wound up getting kicked out of practice and all that. But Mark is like, eyes behind his head, leader. Mark was special. Kenny Smith, speed, athleticism, the jump shot. He honed his game in to fit and win championships. It's so many. Skip, who who I have to give a lot of respect to because he was a street baller or considered that. And then he had to figure out how to go to college and then how to come into the pros and adapt.
Be a pro.
And be a pro, but have his swag. And I watched him in the beginning with Milwaukee where it was a struggle. You know, I think it was George Karl.
Yeah.
So it was a struggle. And then all of a sudden you see him in the finals, like competing, you know, doing
With
his
Orlando,
thing.
right?
With
Yeah,
Orlando. So, and then he was in Houston, like, you know, so I'm a New Yorker, so I respect all New Yorkers. That's NBA players, street ballers. I'm not into the, like, figuring out who's who. Like, I think we all did something special. And then the great Nate Tiny Archibald, who is my first pro, right? Because I walked in Mitchell Gym, and Nate Tiny Archibald was from Patterson Projects, and he had his own court, like his own basket, the little small basket where you had to, like, it had to go right in. And I watched him play. I watched his demeanor. So there's a lot of greats, and I know I'm speaking of point guards, but there's so many others.
You know, as you built up in the league, you know, hindsight's 2020, so you didn't have time to probably pay attention, but when the Knicks and the Bulls were going at it and you and Mark are gone by then, you ever look and say, yeah, because I'm like, if they had them too, you know, I think y'all could have beat Jordan one of them series, or am I bugging, S?
To me, it ain't even about if they was beating Jordan, just to have two New York boys representing the Knicks on the court competing. Would have been a totally different
And this ain't a
feel.
slight to Doc Rivers or Derek Harper, but
or even John Starks. It's not, but Mark and Rod is two of the most beloved basketball players in New York City. And he can't say it by himself, but his street ball, his legend has lasted many days of how he came to tournament games with his sneakers around his shit. I know, you know what I'm saying? And come in, drop 30, and leave the park. That was his legend. I'm not hanging around. I'm going to drop 30 for work on y'all, and I'm going to leave the park.
Like, you reflect on those? It seems like you do.
Yeah,
like,
no, I do, because I wish I was more patient and probably even more professional. Because I think if I would have stayed the course a little longer, I think they would have seen that me and Mark could play more. And then at the end of the day, you can get another guard. You know, you can always mix and match. But yeah, I do, because I think we would have been really, really good together if we had time. But I think my impatient self hurt that more than anything, because I basically forced my way out. Because I wanted my own team.
But didn't they trade Mark first, though?
No, they traded me first.
Trade him first.
So this is
shit. I thought they traded Mark first.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why you thought that, and this is the crazy part. They traded me for Mo Cheeks, and when they got Mo Cheeks, they sat Mark.
Wow.
So now Mark is sitting on the bench. I'm in San Antonio starting, but so why did you do that?
What was the point?
Right. So then that kind of was the ending for the start of the ending for Mark. But that was weird.
Do you have any idea why they did that, or is it still an unknown?
I have no clue. It just shows how much they was ready to get rid of me. It shows that because they sat the guy who was, you know, starting, was just rookie of the year. So it's like me and Mark's like union, and it was weird because it kind of messed stuff up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you ever work one-on-one with the Kyrie? Did you give him your moves?
No. And everybody
say that.
I always shy away from that because no. Like Kyrie was coming up, I was hooping. I was in the league, so I was doing a lot of traveling and moving, and then I was in college coaching. But it's Pops, you know, it's Pops. Now, we came from something, you know, the way we played, our style. So all that, I'm sure he watched me play. And this is what I say to people too. Like, if you watch me and you talk about layups, and you watch Kyrie and you talk about layups, I don't know if somebody actually teaches you those layups. That's more imagination.
But I think
You
can
understand
do
what I'm
it
saying?
if you see your godfather doing it on a regular basis. It seems like it's really possible to
But
me.
what I'm saying is, but that's imagination. I don't know if it's necessarily someone getting in the gym, you do this all the time. But I'm sure it's Pops because we grew up, show it, finish the opposite hand.
That's what we're saying.
So I'm sure he got the basics from his pops. And then conversations with his pops, I'm sure he's probably watched. It's like I watched Dr. J. I did reverse layups and all that because I wanted to be like Dr. J. I did finger rolls because of George Gervin. No-look passes because of Magic.
I mean, but the fact that you're his godfather and you're in the league, it's no different than, even though Barry Bonds' father was in the league, Willie Mays seems to have an attachment to him. That's his
Barry
godfather.
Bonds.
He patented his game. So when we looked, it's just, he's probably watching. He's like, that's my godfather. He in the league, and I'm that talented.
We always look past our parents when we're younger for some reason.
Yeah.
But I think it's inspiration.
That's how I look at it.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. It's like me watching Magic, Dr. J, and Gervin, and Tiny Archibald. That's inspiration. And yeah, you see things and things, you add things to your game. Kyrie is like 10.0. The things I did or what I could do, like his is to another level. Like it's not even close. I remember at one time when he was coming out of high school and college, everybody was kind of trying to compare him to me. And, I'm taking it a little bit. All right. But after a while, once I saw him in college and then that first year in the NBA, I almost was embarrassed. Like, that's different. That's different. That's different. I remember, because I told you I was traveling a lot. So I first, laid my eyes on him on the court, really like that, was at LeBron James camp.
Damn, that's a long...
Yeah, because I was traveling. Y'all got to understand. I'm hooping, I'm moving, I'm coaching. And I remember calling his pops like, that's different. I started seeing that and this. Ain't nobody doing that. That's different. And I knew he was special from then. But as I watch him and, just watch and I want to say growth, but shit, he was like that from high school. If you go watch his high school footage.
Oh, I saw his high school.
Everything is the same. He's just bigger and, more popular. But, he's been doing that forever.
I mean, when they talk about him, they say, he's at least top 3 when it comes to handles. Who you got in your top 5 when it comes to handles, man?
Yeah, so that's a tough one. But I'm going to say this, and I'm not being a homer.
Because you got handles, man. Come on, bro.
I'm not putting myself in it, but I'm going to say this. I'm not being a homer, but I've watched the game since, I was a young kid. I remember the game from point of 66, so 77, 75. I remember guys. From my memory, from what I've seen, Kyrie's the most skilled player I've ever seen. Now, people may argue that or what have you, but I'm talking about handling the ball, getting in the creases, laying the ball up, being able to shoot it, both hands, left hand. He plays with his left hand like his right hand. I don't know. Isaiah's up there.
Yeah. Isaiah.
Steph obviously is up there. But skill-wise, doing it all, I don't know anyone better. But if you start talking about, I'll say Kyrie, Isaiah, gotta put Jay Crawford in there.
Oh, yeah.
What about Kidd?
Who?
Jason Kidd?
Jason Kidd.
Nah. He's just fast to me.
So this is the thing about ball handling, I think. Sometimes we look at it, and I even do. You look at creativity, and then you give somebody that edge, right? But that's not necessarily, for instance, with me, I'm going to get to wherever I want to get to, right? Now, it may not look like the next one. So people may gravitate to that and say that's the fancy. So I guess even when I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about guys who kind of got a little flair to it.
Flair, because you're a New York point guard, so you got to have flair to it.
Because one of the highlights they show, it's a 2-part question, is you going and crossing Jordan the whole game. And they've always said, and Esso and I have gone back and forth, does hand checking really work on somebody that's standing forward and dribbling versus dudes turning their back? Because you was in both eras when the hand checking left.
Please tell him about hand checking, Rod.
With dudes that can really dribble.
But it's a difference, right? No, I'll tell you this. We had to be more deceptive and probably, we had to be more deceptive, right? Because let's say you got Derek Harper and even Greg Anthony, he was tough.
Yeah.
You got Lindsey Hunter, guys who put that arm on you and then strip the ball from you. So when you played against those guys, you had to be able to get some distance and then maneuver, or you got to go right by them, right? But them being able to come out and put their body on you, that makes a difference, right? Like I would love to play in this era now where you can't touch me because we got touched all the time. You know, you pass the ball and run, boom, they hit
Physical.
you. You know, or you got the ball, lay up in you. So it makes a difference. So, because I look at Kyrie, if I had to guard Kyrie, I want to get up on him. Right? But you might say, oh, you get up on him, he's going to. But if I can get up on you and put some body on you, I got a better chance. You got somebody coming at you and you don't put no physicality.
Yeah.
I remember playing against Boston. I remember Rick Pitino screaming out to Chauncey, get up on him, get up on him. And he just didn't want to give me any separation. Because if I get separation now, I can maneuver. So being able to be physical makes a difference.
Who was your favorite team?
Man, I love playing for the Knicks that first year.
Really?
First year and a half, like with Mark, Pat, Gerald Wilkins, Johnny Newman, Pete Myers, like the camaraderie of those young guys, and we were pressing, shooting threes. I don't think people remember. Pitino started with the three-point shooting.
With the three-point,
we just didn't do it as much, obviously, as now, but he's the first one shoot three.
Yeah, definitely.
So that team was fun. I love DC with C. Webb and Jawan, Calvin Chaney, Ben Wallace. You know, I thought they broke that up too soon. And then Portland was great with Clyde. I just caught them late. I caught them after the playoff run.
Yeah.
And then Clyde got hurt and, you know,
Everything changed.
What's the culture like?
Well, back then, so I think now everything is kind of cookie cutter. You know, if you watch teams, everybody kind of plays the same offense and even defense, you know.
Same defense.
Like everybody pushes everybody down to help, rotation.
Let him shoot. We want to get this shooter who has the lowest percentage to shoot.
So it's a lot of rotations, and the offense is similar too. Back then, you had like the Lakers who would run the ball. Denver would run the ball. But then you might have teams like Boston who run some time, but they half-court offense. So you had different types of coaching styles. I don't think we have that many, I think we have a lot of similar coaching styles now. Back then, you had different teams and different looks. So you prepared differently for different teams. Like Pat Riley, for instance, like defensively, he trapped everything. You know, you come off the ball screen, he's trapping and he's pre-rotating. And you knew that consistently. You know, other teams did things differently. But there's a lot of similarities now.
Well, what does it feel like to be a starting point guard, stepping on the lacquer floor right before when the time is running down, right before the game about to start?
Best feeling. That's what it was all about. Like to be able to be in the locker room, get ready mentally, prepare, and you might be preparing for a stud, but that preparation and then getting out on the court, preparing, seeing the crowd coming in, you know, just gearing yourself up. And then now you're on that bench and they get ready to call your name. Like, can't beat that, right? That's what you've been dreaming of. Now you're hearing it. Yeah. And everything was just about like the preparation and being focused to compete against that guy and that team. You know, one of the best things, when I first got drafted to the Knicks, Mark was the starter. So we always had these rotations. So Mark would come out at the end of the first quarter. I was subbing for him, 3 minutes, whatever, 4 minutes. But I would always have the ball at the end of the quarter. And Rick Pitino would clear it out. So now I'm back in New York. I'm in Madison Square Garden. I got the ball at the top of the key. And Pitino's like, clear it out.
Let him go one-on-one. Let him do his thing.
Because it's like I'm back in the park. But I'm in the NBA.
In the
and
garden.
You telling me clear it out, and the crowd is revving up because they're anticipating something. Couldn't get any better feeling than that. Any better feeling than that.
You were part of a interesting moment that's like in all the NBA highlights. You was going for the layup and Hakeem got that crazy block. You remember that, Ez?
You do too much research.
No, I watched it. I was like,
know too much.
I watched and the reason I bought one, that was a crazy momentum, but I'm also tailing it down to, Gilbert Arenas was going off on Hakeem, and I'm like, Does he not know who the F? Like, can you talk about Dream? Because
Dream Shake.
Well, first of all, Dream was a bad dude. He dominated. He dominated. He dominated a bunch of great centers: David Robinson, Patrick
Shaq.
Ewing, Shaq. But that play.
Yo.
So, and I knew he was athletic, right? We know I played against him. I know.
Mm-hmm.
But I was feeling myself. Like, I got the steal. He ain't catching me way back there. So I put it on a little cool control, but I ain't see it. Him running
Big
up.
F.
And if you watch the end of it, the funny part is I tried to act like I got fouled. I ain't even gonna lie. I went up. If you watch the end of it, like I'm on the floor, like, you know what I'm saying? And that was more embarrassment than anything. But I ain't gonna lie, I tried to play. And I'm not like that. Like, I'm one of them, I don't play those games. If I fall, I'm jumping up because I don't want you to think you hurt me. But I was so embarrassed on that one. I look at that video. I watch me after the play. But yeah, Akeem is a killer. And as far as Gil, and I don't like to get in because social media stuff, I'm not getting myself into that. But I'm just one of those people, when it comes to the legends, I watch my mouth. Watch my mouth. Like, I just feel like, it's like if I saw Kevin Durant or I saw LeBron or I saw Magic or Dr. J, if they heard me speak about them on camera, like, I want them to know I spoke about them with the utmost respect.
Yeah.
I don't want them to think I slighted them in any kind of way, because, and then I have a problem like digging at people who had a better career than me.
Yo.
Like, you know what I mean? That's hard for me.
You had a better career than me, but I'm talking about too.
That's hard for me. That's hard for me to sit there like Kevin Durant is playing now. And, people have criticized him about the Golden State thing and all that. For me, man, do what you got to do. You're a bad dude. You can say whatever you want. He's one of the greatest ever.
Yeah.
7 foot, bring it up, point guard shooter.
Can handle.
And people say all these things. I'm like, how do you do the greats like that? And how does like random people get to talk about greats like that?
That's the part that
and we just feed into it and keep it going. How dare you talk about Kevin Durant? Like, you could critique his game and whatever, but to say like, he shouldn't have did this or that, like, it sounds crazy to me. So for me, like, if I saw Kevin Durant now and I'm sitting on this podcast, I don't want him to ever think I said anything disparaging about him, because like, the dude is one of the best ever. So who am I to kind of, but it comes down to TV and money and whatever.
hits,
Hits and all that.
popularity, and clout.
And we live in this disrespectful world now, where we think disrespect is like the new thing. Like,
We just talked about that with Offset yesterday.
Offset.
I watch so much social media stuff, and it's amazing to me because I just listen to all the disrespect, but I know what it is. It's about making money.
There you
It's
go.
about clicks. But for me, I just don't. I'm old school, so like, I don't know. I'm not used to.
When he was like, yo, niggas is wasting money paying Dream, and I remember Kobe trained with him. You saw the moves. LeBron trained with him, and whatever Giannis.
Tracy McGrady, I think, trained with him. People
But
train
you pay for what you
footwork.
want. You pay for what you want.
But
So-
whatever Giannis could learn from him,
But you pay for what you want. If I thought that was important for me at that moment, you might pay extra. That's Akeem Olajuwon. His greatness was allowing him to do that. If you don't want it, you don't have to pay for it. But that's what he thinks of his time. But I don't know. When it comes to the legends, I can't. I got to watch my mouth.
Can I ask you a handle question? He's gonna laugh because I rocks with LeBron, and one of the criticism is they say he don't got no handle. Do you think that too, or is he just?
He can dribble.
It's a consensus
I
thing.
don't know why people.
Yeah, but handles are overrated. Handles are overrated. Like, in the league now, like I said, you can't hold, right? Because they used to do this, hold and all that. You can't do that. Defenses are not, Pat Beverly and who else are picking guys up full court and harassing? Not many. I'm sure there's a few more.
I can't think of
Drew
nobody
Holiday?
off the top of it.
Yeah, but for the most part,
It's not
you
done.
come up the court, you start the offense. Or you go on the ball screen, they go sideways. There's no
pressure at the point of attack.
A lot of things is choreographed, right? I come in, The ball screen is sending me to the sideline. I go in, I throw the
Throw it
loop
over
pass,
there.
you know, and you play from there. So no one's really digging in. So I don't look at ball handling as tightly as I used to. Because I don't know. I mean, obviously you're going to get better. You got to learn how to handle the ball. But it's not. I don't think it's like back in the day.
But they act like, what's my man that played? I'm drawing a blank right now. My man that played for the Celtics, Jaylen Brown. They act like that Jaylen Brown not being able to really dribble with his left hand is the detriment, is why they lost the series, because he did get robbed a lot.
Well, so to that point, I think he should work on that.
Okay.
I think he has a ball handling deficiency.
Okay.
And I think if he works on that, he'll be great.
And yeah,
Great, because he can do it all. He can get to the cup, he'll shoot the ball, but there I think he could tighten up his ball handling for sure. And there's a lot of players like that. You know, he just has it in his hands so much.
You could tell.
You could tell, but there's some players that are playing roles. So when they get the ball, all they got to do is get to a spot and pass.
Did John Stockton have a left hand?
who?
John Stockton.
John Stockton had everything, if you ask me.
Word,
Like,
he
I
had
don't
left
know,
hand
right?
too?
So I don't know, but you could be right. I don't know,
But
right?
you went
but
up
I'm
against-
saying he was efficient. He did what he's supposed to do. So
It didn't
I'm
matter.
not saying you're wrong, but it's like Latrell Sprewell didn't dribble out with his left hand. He was a bad dude.
He's
Clyde Drexler didn't dribble out
I
with his
said,
left hand.
everybody
He was a
knows
bad
dribble,
dude.
yeah.
So, you
But
know,
that's why they say that they think they couldn't last right now, because they didn't dribble with their left hand.
But why?
That's what the consensus of these critics that we saying is like, he couldn't survive in this day and game because he can't dribble with his
But
left hand.
that don't make sense, because, again, you don't even have to dribble that much with your left hand, right? Because like I'm telling you, no one's like really into you, right? So I don't know what the difference would be from back then to now. It's not like they tightening up defense.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? If they were tightening up and
It's
everybody
loose now, if anything. It's
so
loose
I don't.
now.
Why wouldn't he be able to do that?
You ever lost a big game because of the refs? Because I saw the Tim Donaghy thing, and how they said they froze out Iverson because he had threatened one of the refs, and they just kept calling carry. Now seeing that these dudes was really rigging the games for their betting purposes, you ever felt like, yo?
Well, I can't co-sign that because I don't know that. We know about Donahue had his little instance, but I don't want to throw that around too hard.
You gonna be careful?
But I don't know. I don't think so. I do believe there was favoritism. You know, like, you know, there was times you played the Chicago Bulls, right? Steve Kerr guarded me, Randy Brown, Harper, you know, somebody. At the end of the game now, Jordan's guarding me. Well, now he's allowed to get up in you a little more. He's allowed to push you a little more. You know what I mean? But that's just kind of like that's just how it was.
I mean, I just saw a game with the Jets this weekend, off basketball topic, right? The ref that made the bad call on Sauce Gardner, right? When they said Sauce didn't touch the guy for the passing interference call, the ref took his ref shirt off and gave it to Pat Mahomes and got Pat Mahomes' jersey and took a photo with it.
Oh, that's wild. I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
The ref and the player?
The ref, at the end of the game, they have it. The ref, you know how the ref takes off his black and white off? Pat Mahomes got a picture with the ref, and the ref got Pat Mahomes' jersey at the end of the Jets game.
You imagine a ref
Chris Green posted it. And I was like, that's wild. He was like, I know.
That's wild.
That's
you won't see that.
favoritism.
You won't see that in the NBA.
That's what I'm saying. That's
That won't happen in the
favoritism. The referee took it off. How much? This might be a personal question. I'm not gonna ask you how
All
much.
good.
How did you feel when you got your first check? And was you getting it weekly or monthly when you got drafted by the Knicks?
First in the
Check,
15?
I don't know if I remember, but at some point in time I was getting monthly.
Okay.
But understand this now, because all this money's out here right now. My first contract was a 3-year contract for like $1.3 million.
That's $400,000. That's $400,000 and change per year.
So maybe it was 1. It was like 3 and some change. Okay. So like, no, but let me go back.
Okay.
Out of that 1 or something, I had like 100,000 deferred. That's what they were doing back then. So I had like 50,000 deferred to 2010, 50,000 deferred to 2012. Yeah, no, for real. Yeah. So my first year, I was making 275,000. The next year was like 325. Then it was 3-something. So those checks, I mean, for me though, those I love
the
them.
big checks, especially back
but
then.
But in the grand scheme of things, you know, like those checks were gone.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't no money.
Was you getting the sneaker endorsement money and all that type of stuff
I was with Reebok my first year, right? But I was so unprofessional. Like I missed appearances. They got rid of me. And then the next year I was with Nike, and then I was with Nike throughout my career.
So was that a bigger check?
No, there's no money. I think I was.
Hold on. He said that.
I don't think it was any money. I think I might have got 50,000 from them, and then apparel, shoes. Yeah, it's a different ball game now. The money game is different now. I knew this because if you through your agent. Yeah. No, I know he's looking. He's like, damn. He's over there stunned. But if you think about it, 57? What's that? 37 years ago.
That was good money though.
That's the equivalent of 150, 200.
It's a long time ago, man.
Back
Different, you know, the money has changed so much now. You know, people can't even understand what was going on back then.
When did you start coaching?
Decide to coach?
When did you, not even a head coach, just period. When was it over? Like, where was you at when you say, I'm done with this shit, I'm gonna move on or whatever, I'm gonna start coaching now?
Well, I'll say it to you like this. After my, 17 years, after my 12th year.
That's a lot of years, bro.
After my 12th year, you could see the sliding, right? So, and I gotta tell on myself a little bit. You know, if you look at my 12 years, you look at the numbers, you know, probably I was like 16.8.
You had a 20-year?
8 point something dimes, about 4 rebounds, almost 2 steals in that period. Well, because of my unprofessionalism and things, the last 5 years were tough because no one trusted me then, right? So all the teams who ultimately picked me up, it was kind of like, Dad, we need a point guard. So like those last 5 years, I had to wait for teams to call me. So I probably wouldn't get to training camp. Team is 1-19. Okay, let's go get Rod.
Let's go get Rod.
But
what was you doing so much, Rod, that they ain't trust you?
I don't know if I want to rehash it all, but
I heard you was in the streets, Rod.
Yeah, like
you was a party animal.
Yeah, you know, I hung out. I did all that. You know, probably the professionalism, being on time. You know,
regular shit.
I was one of those dudes, like, I don't want to get to the game too early. It's like you talked about me going to the park.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to come to the game early because I don't know about all this stretching and stuff. I want to hoop.
The New Yorker.
You know what I'm saying?
New Yorker.
So, you know, when you're on and you balling, it's all good.
It's all good.
But once you start hitting the slide a little bit, now you looked at it different. It's like I was with the Wizards and I had a contract year coming up and I'm balling. But I'm also eating hot dogs and fries and popcorn before the game, right? But it's all good. No one really said nothing. But as soon as I'm in that contract negotiations,
you eating hot dogs and popcorn.
Now they're trying to kill me.
That affected your money?
But I'm still giving you 18 and 10.
But I'm not sure about you because you might not be stable because you don't eat right. You're not taking care of yourself. You partying. So I don't know. So that stigma could just carry over.
And to be quite honest, you know, as a grown man, once you out of it, you get it. Like I remember coaching and I was like, oh, I get it. I said, I might call a couple coaches and apologize.
Who's the coach you wanted to apologize?
Nah, I'm just joking.
Come on, Patino?
No, I'm kind of being a little sarcastic. It's like, don't take me so serious.
Yo, Rod, did you call me? Nah, that was a butt down. My bad.
I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, it's a little sarcasm in there.
Nah, I called you by accident.
But I understood it.
Yeah. Okay.
And when you're in it, and I don't think what people don't understand, like, and I always talk to people about habits, like the habits you create. So when I was a young guy, like when I was 10 years old, my friends had to come upstairs and get me out the bed to go play the game. You know, when I went to high school, I didn't really go to school and do the work I was supposed to do. I went to Rice High School for a year, and I had to do work.
Yeah.
Then I went to Truman, was a public school. Then I had to go to Oak Hill Academy, where I had to get my grades together. Then I did work. Then I went to college.
How'd you get to DePaul?
Well, I'm gonna get to that. Get to that.
Right?
But you start all these bad habits, and you've gotten away with it forever, and then now you get in the league, and you get this money, and you got the fame, and people seeing you, and they expect you to be something different. They expect you to be buttoned up and professional and all that. But I was never that. So it was hard for me to ever get to that. And I don't know if I truly understood it until I was done. But I could hoop. So you give me the ball and you get me on the court, everybody's fine with me because I'm going to play the right way. I'm going to make everybody happy. But then you're doing all these unprofessional things around it. And at the time, you don't really understand what you're affecting. You know what I mean? So I always talk about that. Like, I just didn't have the habits, you know? But afterwards, I was able, like even now, you know, like I was assistant coach in college, which I had to learn to be professional.
I was about to ask you,
No, I wasn't.
how'd you get a shot in college? Because
I'm gonna get to that. So I had to learn to be professional. And then, you know, I just worked in the NBA. You know, I was heading Team Ignite, right? And then I'm here. So I was able to grow. So I was lucky, because even John Calipari, I have to always respect him because he gave me the opportunity.
at Memphis, right?
At Memphis, but he let me grow too, because it wasn't perfect. You know what I mean?
Seeing you on the bench, I was like, Rod, coaching at Memphis?
Well, no one thought I would coach.
But you was there with,
I don't even know.
with
Derrick
Rose, right?
Derrick Rose, Tyreek Evans.
Yeah, wow.
But I had to learn to be professional, and but Cal stuck with me. So I wound up coaching in college. My last year in the league, I told my kids, I told them that I would be done. Right? So when that year was over, I still wanted to play. So I don't know if I reached out to them or they reached out to me, but Sabonis, Arvydas Sabonis, who played with me in Portland. I was going to go play for him. He was going to give me, you know, nice little paycheck. And he set it out for me. Like, I was supposed to come over there. They was having this big parade. We were going to travel preseason to play all these games. And the day I was supposed to leave, my kids came in the room. And I was hungover. But they came in the room and they were crying because I was leaving. And so when I got up, something didn't feel right. So I'll never forget, I went in the bathroom, shower, whatever. And my guy, Harvey Grant, called me. I don't even know if you remember this. But he was like, yo, and I forgot where's Sabonis from? Lithuania or somewhere.
Lithuania,
He said, yo, and I ain't gonna say exactly how he said it. He said, you going to Lithuania? And I was like, yeah. He said, man, you gonna hate it. The food is not, like he just started talking about it.
That's Horace's brother.
But I'm saying it nicely. And when I got off that phone, I called my guy, because my guy was downstairs putting my bags in the car. I was like, I ain't going.
Canceled last minute when the bags was in the car.
He said he unprofessional.
I did.
I ain't mad at it.
Canceled just like that.
What? And then you became a coach after that.
So I canceled just like that.
Yeah.
But then I'm home, and now I'm like, what do I do?
You bored?
Right? Because I'm used to, no matter what.
Moving and playing ball.
Whatever my day, even if I'm hanging out.
So
when I come in, I'm in that
old,
gym.
You was moving, playing
so
ball.
now I have no purpose. What do I do? So I'm in the video room, lights out in the morning, kids going to school, and I'm feeling some kind of way. Like, what am I going to do? I called one of my guys, said, I need a job. And that's how I got to Memphis.
What?
Yeah, that's how I got to Memphis. He called Cal. Cal was like, oh, I like it. So I went to Memphis. My first year in Memphis, I made $1,000 a month for 9 months.
What you mean?
No, take that back. $1,200.
That's $1,000.
Well, you know why I'm telling you that? Because the next year I made $1,000. Yeah, because I had to take a position that was a lower position to get in.
Mm.
And this is why Cal is cold, because, you know, he probably said this, I'm going to see if he wants to do this.
Got you.
Right? About Cal. So when I first went to Memphis,
That's wild.
when I first got there, Cal had me and someone else going to his house to move his furniture. This straight out the league. But I knew at that time, like, to me, that's a test.
Cause you a wild nigga already.
That's a test.
So he want to see if you're going to be cool, if you're going to know how to deal with this.
But that goes to the, you know, sometimes you got to be humble too. You got to get that humility to, you know.
Yes.
What was it like coaching D Rose and Tyreek Evans, back-to-back Rookie of the Years, man?
Man, it was like, those two, I always tell people, like, the best two young dudes. Like, whatever you tell them, they on it. Like, I've never seen them out of character. Well, I take that back. One time, Tyreek Evans, you know, Cal is screaming, yelling, and Tyreek was, I don't know, something happened. He got fouled, and he got to the foul line. And he looked over at Cal, and he turned to him, he said, bitch ass, man. And I don't know, Cal may remember this, may not, but I'm sitting right there. And from my point of view, Cal saw it and kind of turned the other way. Right? But I'm giving you a little bit of genius of Cal, though.
Yeah.
Because his goal was to get him motivated. Right? And that's one thing about Cal. Like, he ain't worried about all that. Right? He got him motivated, you know?
Yeah.
So, but those were like two, Derrick Rose, they did anything you asked them to do. They were killers.
Who played the backcourt with D Rose? There was
I
another
forgot
kid
that
that was
shooting guard.
nice.
He was nice, man. He had a
Who was
big
with
shot.
D-Rose?
I can't remember.
Oh, Chris Douglas Roberts.
Chris Douglas, right? Yeah,
CDR.
CDR. I knew it was somebody.
He played
else that
for
was
Philly.
there.
He made it. He got
Played for
Played
the
a little
Nets
bit.
too.
CDR was cold.
Yeah, CDR.
He was
Chris
cold.
Douglas
That
Roberts.
herky-jerky game.
Yeah, he had that left hand. When I used to play ball, I would be like, I do not want to check one of them left hand. Like,
But he's right hand.
Oh yeah, he's right-handed.
But he plays strong left.
He finished crooked at the bucket and all types of wild shit. He not jumping, but he's gonna finish at the bucket.
Yeah.
We spoke about Mark and Pat, and you're in the coaching world. Can you give insight why they were getting frozen out in the coaching world? Like, for so many years, they had Pat as an assistant. They wouldn't give him no NBA jobs. And now Mark, they freezing him.
I don't want to have to.
All right, if he says no.
No,
Pat.
I'm good. I'll talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk.
No, I think it was the big man syndrome.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't know if they looked at Pat like a coach, unfortunately. Because I don't see anything else.
But John Thompson was a big.
I know, but but it wasn't many of those. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm just kind of guessing. Like, I don't know what else to think.
Because when Jason Kidd retired, they gave him a job fast. I
But
don't know.
he's a point guard who's used to running the
I
team.
think they can relate
That's a
to
different
that.
position. When you're a point guard, you controlling the team. So when you're a coach, the point guard is an extension of the coach.
I think they can relate to that more
me
than
ask-
the big guy.
This is just me being naive, and it shouldn't have anything to do with
And
it.
Mark should be coaching, but
Yeah, Mark should be a coach.
Well, they said Mark wants private planes and stuff like that.
well,
That's the rumor.
I'm not.
I know he
listening.
ain't gonna say that.
No,
No.
don't do that. It ain't me not saying that. I don't believe that.
Oh, you think that that's the BS?
So sometimes stuff come out,
marketing
I don't
and
believe it.
promo.
I know Mark pretty well. Mark is ready to do his job as long as he's being respected. I don't believe Mark's asking for more than anyone. I don't believe that.
I wanted Mark to be the coach of the Knicks.
I don't
and
believe
I'm gonna say this on camera, and whoever I know we got a good coach and we winning, but Mark should have been the coach of the Knicks long
Point
before
blank.
we had Thibodeau.
But I think we got to be careful when we start talking about what other people say, because a lot of that stuff is wrong.
Big
And
BS.
it's just out there. It's just thrown out there. Like Mark, I know Mark. You know, Mark is about it, right? And you got to deal with Mark a certain way. Like, Mark is to be respected.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's intimidating or whatever. But I know for a fact he's not asking for no more than
Anybody else.
And plus, he's shown that he can turn a team around. Mark put all that engine in those guys.
And Golden
Mark
State, we
gave
know that.
Steph,
The
Clay,
confidence, Clay.
Harrison Barnes, whatever, and then Mark was a part of drafting those guys.
And Mark was part of their big marketing too, because Mark came out first and was like, they the best two shooters around, and everybody was clowning.
Everybody
like,
looked at him
like,
crazy.
how-
And
how
Mark
could you
told
say
them, they were a playoff team, how good they were. So, like, there's something to that. Now, they brought Steve Kerr in, and they say he may have brought more X's and O's to the game or whatever. I don't know, all of that. But just think about it. If Mark stays longer, doesn't he progress?
Of course.
Doesn't he get
wins,
better?
He wins a couple
and
of
doesn't
championships.
he get more players to be better?
Yes.
You know, just like Steve Kerr and the Warriors filled in other players. Well, Mark didn't get that chance. So, but he's shown what he can do. We got, I don't know. There's coaches out there who may not have done what Mark has done and can keep getting
jobs.
Like Mark proved he can move the needle.
Definitely. This might be one of my final questions. Your favorite ball player ever and rapper?
So Magic Johnson, no, my bad, Dr. J and Magic Johnson.
Yeah. Magic's my favorite ball player
Those
too.
are-
Y'all
those
my
are
favorite
the
point
top.
guards, but Magic's my
Yes.
favorite player of all time. I'm not gonna lie.
Those are the top. Well, then we can't be your favorite point guard because Magic's the ultimate point guard.
But Magic, for me, Magic was different because Magic could play center if he had
He
to.
could do all that.
Magic played
Power
power forward.
forward.
He's sky hooking
Yeah,
through the
yeah,
lane.
yeah.
He's running the point. So y'all to me is the consummate point guard.
Right, got you.
You know what I'm saying?
The greatest rapper to me, I mean, is Jay-Z, man.
Okay. I just
I
wanted to know.
mean, I mean, for doing it so long, still being relevant, still putting out, well, I mean, his last album was still good. But I like so many rappers, you know, Nas, LL back in the day.
LL.
You know, I like Meek Mill. Like, I'm a big Meek Mill fan. Like,
I like Meek too.
I like, but there's so many. I don't want to, Rick Ross. But, you know, I'm New York, LL. Oh, Big Daddy Kane.
Big Daddy Kane.
Like, I think he's like slept on and, you know, but there's so many. I'm sure I'm missing plenty, but Jay-Z is kind of
The number one.
I got just a couple.
Oh, J. Cole.
J. Cole.
No,
Cole.
can't, yeah.
Well, because you was drafted in the late 80s, so that means you got to play against Magic. What was that like the first game against him?
I wish my guy was here, Saeed was here. So my guy used to always tell me, he used to curse me out after the game, and he would say, stop fucking trying to get an autograph and play, because I was stunned for a while. That was my idol. Magic was it for me. I used to, when I was a kid, I'd go to the store, buy a tank top set, put number 32 on it, Magic, and walk around the street with my ball with Magic on my back. So once I finally got in the league and I played against him, and then Magic is like 6'8", 6'9", so I was standing there like, I couldn't get out of it. Like I was in a funk for like my first 2 years.
Word?
And I've never been like that with anyone else. But I was in a funk with Magic. I couldn't get out of it. And my dude would always tell me like, yo, stop trying to get his fucking autograph and play. And it took me till we went to Hawaii. I don't know if he had that announcement or whatever, but we went to Hawaii. It might have been the third year, and we were playing against, Portland was playing against LA. And that was the year I loosened up. But it took me a minute. Magic was, I don't even think he knows it, but like, Magic was that. Magic and Dr. J. I got a chance to meet Dr. J in Orlando.
Cool,
And I called my dude, Sai, and we was at the club. I called him. I'm Dr. J right here. I'm calling him. I said, yo, I'm standing next to Dr. J. So I just wanted him to know I'm in the club with Dr. J. Like those two, like
That was it for you.
Yeah.
Who's a defender? The defender you hated to see the most checking you.
So many. You got GP.
Yeah, Derek Harper. GP was so different because he had the, like, GP 6'4", strong.
Long arms.
Yeah, GP was,
What about Mookie Blaylock?
Mookie was tough.
He's tough, man.
Mookie, Derek Harper, GP. Stockton was tough, man. Because you get bombed and he smacked the ball from you. It took me a couple years to, get him off of it. Lindsey Hunter was tough.
Really? Oh, yeah. I forgot.
Because
he was a defensive player.
Because
he was fast
quick.
and strong.
So he would get up on you again, put that hand on you, and Derek Harper used to do it. You know who else was tough? Greg Anthony.
You don't get credit for that.
Quick feet, and he was tough. You know who was a good defender, but it was kind of interesting, like Joe Dumars, because they used to put him on me sometimes.
Yeah.
But he was interesting because he would foul me and ask me, am I all right? And I used to get mad at that. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, you doing that purposely, man. Like, you know, wow, you all right, Rod?
You all right?
Man, knock it off. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, what was it like when you played against Jordan the first couple of times?
Oh, I'm sorry. He should be in that category. And Pippin. Because they would, so they would start off, it might be Kerr on me, it might be Randy Brown, DJ Armstrong. But at some point in time, and then when Harp came, they would put Ron Harper on me.
Harper was
because he would just gap me. So if
What
I
does
ain't
that mean? What does gap me mean?
So he'll give me a couple steps. So he'll play off me some. But he's long. What's Harp 6'6"?
6'6",
So
7, yeah.
long arm. So I'm more of a penetrator. So he gaps me. So now he's trying to get me to come and just pull up.
Shoot the jump
So
shot.
he's trying to stop me from getting in the paint. And Pip would do the same. Now Jordan would get all the way on me sometimes. Sometimes he'll gap me. But the other two would gap me. So what I would do against them is give me the ball out of the, from the inbounds because I want to get in transition. Because
Yeah, because you want to get up and down the court. So
yeah,
they
because
can't
they're
stop
going
you.
back.
Yeah,
Because if I'm going full head of steam and you going back, I'm going to get you most of the time. You know?
He's on his heels.
You're on your heels. So if I give you this,
You in and out, you done.
I give you this.
As soon as I go this way, it's over.
But have you seen that highlight reel of you in playing for the Wizards going crazy on Jordan?
He lived it.
Nigga.
Yeah, but the only
But
thing-
that's just different when you see it.
But I want to be clear though. Like,
Yeah.
The highlights is highlights. Obviously, and Jordan said it on video, like I was one of the tougher players in the guard. But you know, you show highlights. You know, like Jordan is Jordan.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But Jordan had trouble with smaller guards. You know, because if you coming at him fast, and again in transition, it's a problem. You know, so I take the credit, but you know, like
I mean, but Jordan said you one of the toughest.
No,
so there you go. It's
Because you
true.
had the bip. That's what we say.
Yeah,
that,
like,
that,
dog.
that,
go-
that bip was crazy.
Yo.
but I can go full speed
Yes,
with
with the
without
bip.
stopping.
Exactly.
So now I'm changing directions at you full speed. So it's only one reaction you can do. If I in and out you,
it's done.
It's
You
done.
done.
I'm either by you, you here, and then I'm
Oh,
gone.
you know
The
what we
other
ain't talk about? Sham God with the end.
way. Yeah.
Damn, girl.
I got one.
I got one last one too. Wait, hold on.
Go, I'm done with this.
Tell me about Jordan shit talking on the court.
I didn't hear that.
Or maybe because he had trouble guarding you. He didn't want to
I
fuck. He
never
didn't want
talked,
to
so
be.
no one really spoke to me like that.
You don't talk on the court at all?
Bird never talk crazy to you?
Well, he one time,
What did he say to you?
no, I hit the ball from him or whatever, and he you know, the ball went out. He's like, you little shit. You know, but it wasn't.
Yeah, nothing
Well,
crazy.
nothing crazy.
Yeah,
Standard
like-
shit.
But no one really talked to me like that because I didn't talk to anybody. Like you, I wouldn't engage with you if you spoke to me
Oh, wow.
like that, unless you said something disrespectful. But I never really talked. And Jordan will try to humor you to relax you too. You know what I mean? So when you say talk, I don't know if it's always like some
Smooth talking.
like I'm gonna get you or whatever. Sometimes he sit there and want to laugh and joke with you, and then to get
Drop
you
40 on
relaxed.
you.
Yeah, and if you talk to him,
That's a problem.
he'll talk back.
You came in the late 80s. There's a guy who also got drafted in the late 80s that's making headways. Deion Sanders, man. What's his impact been to you as a black man and as a coach, athlete? Y'all around the same.
I don't know, just Deion, just watching Deion from afar for years. I mean, he's always had this power about him. You know, even when he was playing. Like he just, you know, he walks around with a swag. He's confident. You know, everybody's going to look up to that.
Yeah.
You know, like a super confident, but he moves the needle. I mean, since I guess Florida State
Since FSU, yeah.
to Colorado, every place he's gone, he's moved the needle. So there's something special about him. Regardless of what you want to say, how you intake what he says, there's something special about Deion Sanders. Because every place he goes, he impacts it. So I look up to that because I enjoy that. I enjoy watching him do what he do. I'm totally different. I couldn't, you know, I'm not as outgoing as he is. But I get it. You know, I get the impact. I get that he walks in the door and his conversation, you know, who he is. Because I can guarantee you, wherever he goes, he's probably going to get more than anticipated.
Yeah.
Right? So if he goes and he's talking to a college president or whatever, when he walks in the door, everything rises. And that's not, everybody can't do that. So I respect that. I would love to just sit down with him one day and just hear him talk about leadership, about what he's done, how he's done it. I mean, he's one of the greatest. You know, he's done it as an athlete, and now he's doing it as a coach.
Because, you know, when he played for the Yankees, you was gone from New York by then.
I didn't even mention that.
Yeah.
He played for the Braves too?
Yeah.
Right, so
Braves.
like he's, I mean, and it's interesting watching people react to him, right? Even coaches, right? They can get out of character just because of who he is, right? Because all he's doing, he's being him. And now you get others out of character.
Trying to compare or
trying
compete.
to compare and compete.
Jordan or LeBron?
I'm gonna go with Jordan.
Okay.
Because that's my era, and I was there, witnessed it. I witnessed his greatness, but I witnessed the effect he had on players. And you even see the effect afterwards, how they talk about him, which sometimes is weird. But I understand the effect. But then you go to LeBron, and I got my man Brandon Weems, who was LeBron's guy. He worked with me at Kentucky, and I'll never forget this. LeBron was early in his career, and we used to go back and forth because that's LeBron's guy. And I'm like, man, stop playing, man. He's not better than MJ. But as the years have gone on, I'm like, dang,
he's very close. It's an argument.
He's there,
bro.
so it's an argument.
It's an argument,
without
definitely.
a doubt an argument. If you go by career, like you go by numbers, LeBron has the better numbers. You know, Jordan won 3 championships in a row.
Twice. You know, that's
Twice. And think about if he wouldn't have sat out those 2 years, what could have
Let me
happened?
ask you that.
And he was more, and I'm sorry, but
yeah, go for it.
And LeBron and MJ is just 2 different beings too. Like MJ's a killer. Give me the ball. I'll shoot everything. I'm going to shoot. We're going to win this game through me. Now, if I got to give it up every now and then, cool. I'm going to give it up. But give me the ball and get out the way. Well, LeBron is Magic Jordan type.
Now, I always tell people that, Rod. I argue with him a lot. I be like, LeBron's supposed to be compared to Magic, not Jordan. But because Jordan's the top dog and they want to make him the top dog, and Magic bowed out a long time ago when people used to say Magic was better than Jordan. When Magic said Jordan's better than me, he kind of put that to bed. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he gets overlooked for being at that top spot.
So if you said LeBron was better, I'm cool with that. But you just made a point. I always think Magic should be in that conversation.
Me too.
And everybody
Greatest player of all time?
Yeah, so people will say Jordan, people say Jordan, they'll say LeBron, they'll stick Kobe in there, Kareem, whatever. But think about Magic Johnson. At that time, 6'9" point guard. We've never seen that before. He came out of college. The Lakers weren't good, right? They won a championship that first year, right?
Yes,
First year.
He went tip, the center at the tip, triple-double or whatever, they win it.
Yeah.
So when you look at Giannis or Kevin Durant, all of them, that's the origin. Magic is the origin of these big guys playing out
with the ball.
With flair.
But he wasn't doing all that. He
wasn't back to the back. He was going up the break.
It wasn't even that. It's what we're talking about, inspiration.
Basically.
So guys started him, then you got the Pennies, the Grant Hills, and it's transferred to, all these guys
Lloyd
we have
Daniels
now. But Magic started all that. And he won 5 championships, right? He won
went
MVP,
to like 7, 8 finals. Won an MVP.
He went to 9 finals.
So, look at his. So why isn't he discussed in that?
I think because he didn't score a lot. And, people, take scoring. If you notice, all the guys they name are scorers. Kobe, Kareem. If you even want to throw Wilt in there. LeBron, even though they say pass first player, he got a lot of buckets.
He got a lot of buckets. He did.
But if you look at the impact of Magic to the game, and then, the statistics, and Magic is Magic, so he's going to say MJ.
Yeah,
and I'm cool with that. But I think he should always be in that discussion, in that little small circle.
You said, what would have happened if Jordan never retired those first 2 years? I say he gets 7 rings. And the reason why, that second Rockets team that had Clyde, I don't think he can
Nah,
beat
the
that.
first Rocket team was better. The first Rocket
He
team
played
was better.
against them.
And, well, but I'm gonna say my
for it,
opinion,
that's-
and I had dinner with Kenny Smith. Jay Gill's
K.
my
Smith
man.
gonna be mad at me for this. Bro.
Kenny, you were supposed to be my mentor with this. We not gonna mention this, Kenny, because Kenny, I had dinner with Kenny at Prom 112. Me and my wife and him and Jay Gill, straight up.
Yeah.
And I said, Kenny was like, we still would have won the 2 rings. I said, Kenny, I just don't see how you was gonna win the rings. And he talked to me about his book. I think he put his book out, right? I could say it. All right, because before his book came out, he told me I couldn't say this. He said they drafted, I think him and Pippin came out the same year, something like that, right? And they drafted Pippin and didn't draft him. And they could have drafted him because he had a chance to go to the Bulls. And he swears that if he would have went to the Bulls, they would have won the same rings. I said, they needed Scotty, bro.
But what you was about to say, Rod?
No,
you
I
played
just,
against Hakeem.
I think
You was in the
I don't
West.
know. For me, the way Jordan was playing, the way that team was playing, it would have been tough for Houston to beat them. And when you say Clyde, like Clyde and Jordan already tangled, Clyde and
But
Jordan.
that team, that second Rockets team that went in. Hold on. Let me say this. That beat Shaq. That beat David Robinson.
Talk about it. Let's talk about the players. Let's talk about it.
But Jordan, when Jordan left the first time, he was at his peak, bro. This wasn't the second Jordan. This was the first Jordan.
But what I'm saying is, even Jordan said out of his own mouth, yo, thank God they couldn't figure it out to make it to the finals. He always said that Rockets team was the toughest
sometimes you
challenge.
say that to give respect too, but
Okay, he's just talking fly. Rod
no.
Strickland.
And I'm not trying to, because I want Kenny Smith and V. Maxwell and all them.
Yo, Vernon Maxwell, yo, what was he like?
I think it would have been tough. I think it would have been tough to beat the
That
Bulls.
first mic, bro.
First Mike was a killer.
But nobody differentiates the first 3 rings from the second 3 rings. The first 3 rings was crazy. All right? Yeah. Jordan was not to be stopped the first 3 rings, bro. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
He won 6, and then you got that in between. Like, what's the difference? Like, I think it would have been tough. I know Akeem and K. Smith and V. Max and all them.
Robert Horry.
But what's the difference? I'm saying
that team was just, they beat a lot of dudes.
It would have been
no
interesting.
Home court advantage.
It would have been interesting.
But you know why they had home court advantage? Because Jordan would have been on the floor. What would you do? This is my last question, I swear.
I'm done.
I swear it's my last one. You checked Jordan one-on-one before, I imagine, because you played in the East.
Yeah.
When you had him one-on-one and he had the ball, what's Rod Strickland's thoughts at that time?
Game over.
Yo, BagFuel, like, subscribe, super thanks. Thank God for Rod Strickland sitting down with us.
If you want to see more of Rod Strickland, make sure you go to them LIU home games, road games.
We will be there, definitely.
Absolutely. Next time we come, we talk a little LIU.
Oh, definitely. Because I got something. I'm gonna call you later. I got some
ideas.
Yeah, you got
something. Yeah.
I got some ideas for some things that could revolve around that. And I actually want to do it with you and Sha, because Sha's my best friend. Sha's at Seton Hall, and you here.
Oh, yeah.
And we all black. I want to do it with y'all first and
That'll
foremost.
work.
Mm-hmm.
That'll work.
BagFuel, Rod Strickland episode, Basketball Bleach Report. Pick it up. We out.